So I thought I would do a video. I was gonna write an article for Brains Magazine about this, but I feel like the content um, is more appropriate for a video, just so that people can feel my authentic energy. And I mean, it's just so different, a video versus something you read. It's just, yeah, completely different. So I just thought that this would be a better way. So, this is a difficult topic for me. Um, and the reason why I'm talking about my first article, the reason why I talked about turning pain into power and control, it all stems from, I mean, the fire in me for creating that article. It all stems from what happened to me about a couple months ago, well, like 3 months ago. I started having flashbacks of my dad when I was a child, of him sexually abusing me. And my father, he used to be a bishop. He is in the Rotary Club. He is such a good person. Like, he is a good man. And I have been best friends with my dad. Like, I honestly have loved him so much. He's always been there for me. He's been such an amazing example to me. And he's just, I've always looked up to him. And so you can imagine my shock when I was having these flashbacks 3 months ago about my dad abusing me. Like, it just didn't seem real. I had to like kick it out of my mind. Like, this is, no, that's not right. But then I started like I'm really good at pattern recognition. And then I started thinking about my childhood and how at 6 years old, well, 5, 6, 7, I was a competitive swimmer. I used to be on jump off the high diving board and no fear at like 4 years old. Um, I was a really good swimmer. Like, a lot of parents even told my parents that they thought I'd go to the Olympics one day. Like, that's how good I was. And like, I just had so much like love for life and strength. And I just felt power and I felt like I could just take on the world. So like, I look back and around like 7, 8, 9, 10, like all of a sudden, like I started getting like shy, introverted, anxiety, depression, suicidal, hypervigilant, just low self-esteem. And I'm just like, I was wondering, like, where did that all come from? Like, how can a child like feel like, love for life and all of a sudden just like switch like that? Like, so I mean, I was putting that together and then I was putting like, there were times when I'd be cutting fruit beside my dad in the kitchen. And like, I didn't think anything about it. We'd just be talking, whatever. But all of a sudden, like, I would feel so much panic and so much fear in my heart, and my body just wanted to run. And I was just like, what the heck? Like, just so confused, right? Like, my body was trying to tell me something, but I just didn't know, like, what the heck, what was going on, right? Um, and then there was this other time where it was just my dad upstairs and it was me downstairs. And just, I was sleeping and I was trying to sleep. It was nighttime. I don't know where the family was, but I was downstairs. And I was trying to sleep, but I couldn't sleep because all I felt, it was like my dad he was gonna walk in my bedroom and he was gonna come to my bed and touch me. And I was just like so freaked out. I was so scared. I don't like, where did this come from, right? I was just laying in bed. And that's all of a sudden what happens. Like I all of a sudden I feel fear and I feel like he's gonna come to my room and then I jump out of my bed and I run up the stairs and outside into the street. Like that's how like how much fear I felt. And I still couldn't understand like what was going on. Like why do I feel like so much love for my dad, but then at times I feel so much fear? So I'm like, I was so confused like my whole life growing up. Like why all of a sudden do I have anxiety, depression, suicidal, low self-esteem, feeling like so confused with like this fear. Um and like 3 months ago when I had these, flashbacks, like everything like started to make sense. Even though I tried to like kick it out of my mind and not, just not think about it because I didn't want to. I didn't want to believe it. But the more that I like put everything together in my past, it's just like I felt at peace. I mean, that's crazy to think that I felt at peace with knowing, okay, now I understand like why I felt, that fear, like why I dealt with anxiety, depression, all of that. I mean, that gave me a peace of mind to know, okay, like that's the reason why I was feeling that way, where I was always so confused, right? But I mean, obviously that broke my heart and hurt me so bad knowing that that actually happened. Um so I want people to know like out there that if they're like around somebody and they're feeling fear and they want to run away but they don't know why, that might be a reason. A family member, a cousin, aunt, uncle. Also, like look at patterns, your pattern recognition. Were you happy? Were you, full of life? And then all of a sudden, like, you were depressed and had anxiety and, and were really confused growing up. Like that's a sign. So anybody out there, this isn't just my story. This is for everybody else out there that's struggling with this or just does not understand what's going on in their life. Um, I I feel like a lot of this has to do with my dad was raised in the LDS church. I was raised in the LDS church as well. But in the LDS church, men are looked at as holding the power of God, which is the Melchizedek priesthood. Um, but when you think that you hold God's power, there's that authority, right? There's that, you don't want anybody else to see your weaknesses or, like if I hold God's power, like I have this authority and, everybody's going to look at me because I'm, perfect. There's that pressure on a man in the LDS church. And then their family, wives, children, they look up to him like they're perfect, right? And so they're going to hide things. The men are going to hide things because they're not perfect. We are all equal. Nobody holds God's power. It's all an illusion. It's not real. I had to learn this the hard way. Like my whole life fell apart. Like I am picking up as much as I can slowly and I'm trying to heal the best I can. But my life has fallen apart, literally. Knowing that I lived in this illusion for 35 years in the church, served a mission, did all I could, but ended up just being depressed in the church. They never teach you how to like self-care or love yourself. They just teach you to like love other people and serve. But like, how can you keep serving if you're empty? Like, it just, it's not healthy. And to say somebody has the power of God, that does something. Like clericalism. When people look up to you, that you have this authority of God, they look up to you like you can't make mistakes. And so you have to put on this perfect, persona, but it's not real. It's all an illusion. Men in the LDS church do not hold God's power. It's all an illusion. Everybody has to know this. Like, I was in the church for 35 years. My dad was a bishop. Like, I went on a mission. Like, I was deep in the church and I was close to my dad, and still this happened to me. This is a problem. This is a huge problem that people really need to look at. The men in your life, they are only a human being. If you put them on a pedestal, if you think they're perfect and they act like they're perfect, and they will hide their weaknesses from you. And men that supposedly hold the power of God, take that pressure off of you, because you do not hold the power of God. I have left my dad. I will not talk to him ever again. This is a massive betrayal and has shattered my whole life. I hope that I've helped somebody out there with knowing how to navigate if they feel fear around people, or if they grow up and wonder why, look at the patterns. Also, people in the church, it's an illusion. You really need to wake up. Okay. And I, again, am saying this because I just feel strongly in my heart. I can't hold this in my heart any longer. I feel like it's not just my story. I feel like this is for people out there. I feel like, all the pain and stuff, my piano songs, a lot of the songs that I've composed on the piano is rooted into the pain that I've been feeling about this heartbreak. So yeah, again, I hope you guys got something from this. Okay, bye.